Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's the 3rd of the 6th, not the 5, 2025. So it's actually June, not May. And I was changing the date for the last few days, when we set it up. And I was forgetting about the month. So there's a few wrong dates there. Someone picked it up. Thanks for letting me know. And all is good, but we've been on the go since early this morning. We often get pinged during the night because we're on a different time zone, and we get messages from the managers and bits and pieces. But 5 o'clock this morning, we got an alert response from the YB3. Now I'll keep this until the end of the tracker, but we'll talk about the features of the YB3. And just to give you an idea, there's a YB3. And there's certain things. There's the 1 button in the middle, and then that's the keypad, and then there's a 2 button, which is the red one under a cover. And if you're in trouble, what you do is you lift the cover, press the red button, and it sends out an alert. Well, we got an alert at 5 o'clock this morning from John. Anyway, more about that later. And Peeler's just arriving as we speak, so we'll see that. And Dan's having fun, so everyone's still enjoying themselves. So we'll get straight into the tracker. We won't waffle on. It's a weekday, and I know you're all busy like we are. It's just going crazy. So here is the tracker. So you're on the tracker, and now if I go on the tracker, you should still be hearing me and seeing me. So here's Vivau and Niafu, the center, the city right there, and you can just see right now. So Renaud got in, of course, and then Dan got in yesterday as well. Very happy to be there. Just caught a fish on the way through. In fact, I know, when he was taking the photos, I'm not sure where he caught the fish, but some of the photos was just turning the corner underneath the bottom here. So he caught it literally on the final approach somewhere. And then when he gets there, he's got all the fresh food and bits and pieces, and he passed a comment about going through customs, which was very smooth apparently, helped along by some tuna. So maybe he gave the fish to customs or whatever, I don't know, but they'd be very happy to get it. Fish is a big part of their diet, and not every day you get given a tuna, so who knows what happened there. Anyway, Peeler coming in was at 2000 UTC, which is 8 o'clock in the morning local time. I'm pretty certain they're on the same time as Fiji. So perfect timing. I thought she might be in the dark a bit, but doing 1.4 knots, so obviously just heading towards the anchorage or heading towards the wharf, and she would be, 20 minutes later, she'd be alongside now. So that's good for Peeler, third into that point. So anyway, let's come back here and come back to the rest of the fleet. Boom, boom. There we go. So right at the back here, we've got Gary, and right up the other side, we've got John and Popeye. So now I'm going to zip in, and I'll just show you what's going on because it's relevant to the process that we went through. When we saw the alert, I'll explain it fully when we finished here. But for now, I'll just show you where they are. They've actually put the snail trail on here. They've come around. They've left. They called into the anchorage over here at Hiva Oa, which is where most of the entrance went, and then they've come back round to that little anchorage. I forget the name of it now, where many of the other entrants went. It's a really nice anchorage, good snorkeling, all that sort of stuff. So they're sitting in that anchorage quite comfortably, and here they are. So and I think they've got to depart from a port of clearance, and that's not one. And they mentioned they might go up to Nuka Hiva. So, but at the moment they're still sitting there. That's 1500 position. Don't know why that's the case. 2000 on Mike. So still sitting in the bay having a grand time. And then I believe they're going to head off to Nuka Hiva to have a look up there, and then they'll clear from there and depart towards Papeete. So they're all happy, and that's where for some reason the some reason the alert button on the YB3 went off, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Jeepers, it's a long way back. Here we go. Rightio. Okay, so Popeye's still in Papiete. He's giving us a hand to move Explorer in the UK. Our other big boat, we've got a Swan 57, is coming out of the water tomorrow morning very early to go into a shed. Mark's out into a shed, and Mark used to be the captain of Explorer, and I'm not there, and Georgie's on board, so that's all happening, which is kind of fun. And then we've got a couple of months of repairs. Gary is doing 3.8 knots and 81 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So that is a 24-hour period. I think it may be just short of that. So 80 miles, not too bad, but light winds. Obviously, we better put the wind up here so you can all see what's going on. Here it comes, here it comes. Internet's slow, so we're still on the local SIM card. But yeah, it's light. You can see that very clearly. So I'll just push that up. It's probably 10 to 15 for Gary. It'll be smooth seas. Let's have a look. Just on the waves, it should be blue back there. Yeah, it's blue all the way along, actually. Josh is doing pretty much the same. 1.5 meters, having a beautiful sail. 102-mile day, 4.6 knots. All would be quite pleasant there. Cruising along, doing his morning breakfast and cook up. He's a big cooker on board. He likes cooking. And listening to music probably, or audio books or whatever it is. So back to the breeze. And we've got up one more size-wise. Jasmine trying to catch Ayrton. I don't know whether she can. 4.3 knots, 111-mile day. Ayrton, 110-mile day. Took out a mile, but I think Ayrton took the mile from Jasmine yesterday. So 4.6 knots, 110 for Ayrton as well. Adam pushing along nicely. 5.2 knots, 125-mile day. So he's hooting after Jacob. Oh, you're getting him. He's getting him. Jacob, 121-mile day. So took 4 miles out of Jacob. Very close. Should be similar weather. Jacob doing 5.1 knots at the moment. And Adam just a little bit faster. So Eric bearing down on Christian. 5.1 knots, 121. So Adam's catching up to Jacob. Jacob's catching up to Eric. And I think that's right. The short-term memory's going crazy. Oh, the same. They're holding position. So that's cool. And Christian, 5.6, 122-mile day. So that group is very much, for sure, the mid-group. And in fact, there seems to be quite a gap there between the mid-group. No, it's about the same. 162, yeah. So anyway, that's cool. So the next one is Dan, Canadan, who was very impressed that he crossed the date line. In fact, bordering on being excited, which is cool. And the date line is bent, actually. You'll see it's not technically... not technically there, but anyway, there's got a distortion there to pull Tonga into it. So technically, Tonga gets the sun before everyone else in the world. Long story. So, how far has he got to go? Well, first of all, he's doing... I've already pinged it. We'll go for the distance. So, the entry point, 51 miles. Okay. And it's 8 o'clock. Oh, that's encouraging. So, say 50 miles for the approach, or 55 miles probably. He's doing 5.2 knots, and he's done a 140-mile day. So, let's just assume he makes 5 knots. He's got 50 to go, so 10 hours. 8 o'clock in the morning right now, or just after 8. That's 4 and 6 o'clock. He should be... It gets dark early here. I think what will happen is he needs to get the pressure on. Come on, Dan. He will be arriving late in the day, and he might end up entering the harbour in the dark at the very end. So we just got to wait and see what happens there. But I think he realises that, because he mentioned to me some days ago, if you remember, the discussion about where they've got to go in the harbour, where they can anchor out and then go there the next day. They can, but the clock is running. So it's a race for Dan to get in before dark tonight. That's pretty cool. And then while we're doing this, let's just check up on the mid-pack. The mid-pack from there to, say, in the middle between Christian and Eric, 229, so they'll be 2 days away. So that's fine. They'll be coming in the morning as well. Both of them will come in the morning and 2 days away. But Christian could get there. Yeah, he could get there. Well, they're going to be there really early, so Christian could be just as there's first light coming. So they'll be happy about that. They'll all be dreaming of what's coming next. And then, not forgetting Kerry, of course. We had a big chat with Kerry. I should have probably recorded it, but I had the WhatsApp message from Kerry, and he's currently doing 4.8 knots and a 108-mile day. And the deal was, the message that came to me yesterday was that he hadn't touched the tiller and he hadn't touched any sheets on the boat, like to adjust sails, for basically 3 days. He was laying down, giving his back a chance to recover. Apparently, this is a historic situation. About 17 years ago, apparently, he had something similar. So he understands what's going on. He believes it's possibly something's ruptured there and whatever, but he needs to rest it, fiercely rest it. So anyway, then he called and we had a good chat. So he's looking okay. He doesn't require any assistance, all that sort of stuff. It's not that sort of situation. It's just he's got to look after his back, and the longer he can keep it relaxed, the quicker it'll all sort of mend itself. So we're all hoping that's the case, and he's headed for Pangai. We discussed the entry process. Looks like he's going to arrive, by my estimates yesterday, about midnight off the northern tip of the islands here. So let's just see where he is. First of all, is that the correct timing? Yes, 2000. So Kerry's currently from the turn point. Come on. Boom. Okay. That's the turn point there. He's 75 miles and he's doing 4.8 knots. So just to say it's 5 knots, 75. So that's 15 hours from now, and it's 8 o'clock. So yeah, it's still going to be around about midnight, 1 o'clock. And the general tactic that we talked about, he was wondering to go through the southern pass here. There's a pass here that you can come through between the main island of Leafu and the little one there. But the problem then is when you turn the corner, this would be in the dark. You could come through that with your chart plotter, but it's not such a good idea because when you turn around, you're going to come around and you're going to be sort of a bit hard on the nose. I'll just build this right up and I'll explain the issues. To come through this one here, this pass between Oliva Island and Uhia, the wind is coming from this sort of from the east-southeast. So you come through, you've then got to work your way up here hard on starboard tack, and then to get into there's actually a pass here. It's lit because it is this part here is lit, but there's a light there and a light there, but then you're going to be hard on the nose coming in that, even to the point of tacking, and there's a few reefs around here, and then you've got to come across in a northeasterly direction, so you come in from with an easterly, so you might be challenging. There's a current that can go out there, little current, and then it's all a bit too challenging, and so you're going backwards as well, and it's the same distance if you just come around the north end of the island and come straight down. This is all pretty much open water. You're in the lee. There will be about maybe up to a 3-metre sea as he approaches here. And the corner, you get confused seas and sometimes a current coming through here. So it's very confused. I've told him to stand off at least a mile off the headland here and watch for shoals, because there's some shoals up here, all through here, this area there. Not shoals to hit the bottom, but shoals that heat the waves up. The waves can break in some of these spots over here. So he'll come through the side here, come on round. As soon as he gets in the lee of the island, the sea drops off to less than a metre, and he can go slow. And if he really wanted to come and anchor sometime in the dark, you could come and anchor here, but he won't need to because it's midnight. It's about 9 miles or something. No, a bit less than that. Hang on a sec. Boom, boom. There we go, boom. And then coming down to a point there. Yeah, 9 miles. So the plan would be, and again, or the direction they've got to go is come down here to this point. I can build it up a little bit more, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, and then this is a shipping channel that comes in through here. It's quite wide, so you've got 9 miles there. If you go slow, it's going to take 3 hours. So if he's 1 o'clock around the corner, there's 4 o'clock in the morning. You can actually come in here in the dark because there are good lights there. They should be there. This is where the ferry comes in. and then you're in the inner lagoon, and it's flat calm when you get in here, so it's easy to see what's going on. And then he should be able to sail along because there's poles and lights. There's one there, there's one here, there's one there, there's one there, and you just stay the other side of that. Come on down. You can cross that line in the dark, and then anchor up right there. Any of this stuff, you just come in shallow and drop the pick, and then you can paddle ashore the next day to get it. So that's the general plan, and he wouldn't have to exert himself too much. It's reasonably safe. He may decide, if he's unsure of it, to stand off. He doesn't want to use the engine, only because he likes sailing. He likes to be able to sail. He's done the whole lot under sail if he can. So that's fine. And then once he's there, I've tipped him off, or he's seen the weather coming as well. In 3 days' time, there's going to be a northerly and then a northwesterly for about 12 hours. And at that point, I've told him you need to come into the harbour. It's only blowing 17 knots, but it might gust to 20 or so. But it's open to the sea here. And so it's sort of okay. In fact, you can see a couple of boats even on this picture anchored there. So there's 2 boats anchored there. Perfect anchorage, sandy bottom. You paddle ashore. Customs is just down the bottom here, the supermarket and all the bits. But for the northerly it's still okay. But when it goes northwest, you can get quite a sea coming in here, if there's a 2 metre sea or whatever it is. So you come into the harbour, and when you're in the harbour, I told him you can sail into here. You can anchor anywhere you like here. Anything out of the main pool, come in, drop the pick and hang there. Perfect bottom, sandy, sort of very fine sandy, not mud, but sandy. And if you're going to stay for a while, you can drop the pick, hang back and tie up to the trees here, stern to, like a med mooring. So that's what he'd have to do if in 3 days' time. There is a small hospital there. He doesn't need treatment, but he needs some more drugs. He needs some hard drugs, so he should be able to get them from the hospital. And if we need a prescription and stuff, I don't think he does as captain of the ship, so that's the plan. So Kerry's cool. He's quite confident, quite happy with what's going on there, and that's the general process. And this is a fantastic place for cruising destination, but he might not do that. And spoke to Renaud. Renaud's planning to leave Vavau and head down towards Lifu here and come into Pangai. So I'm not sure exactly when, but we were discussing it. He wanted to know about coming in into the harbour with a northerly breeze, so it may be in a day or so. He may head out of Vavau and come down, have a look. And just as a matter of interest, because Jacob passed a comment the other day about it being 20 miles closer to Niafu and Vavau. And that was the key element. It wasn't 20 miles shorter to go to. In other words, if you're sailing and you want to get to Fiji quick, is it shorter distance to go to Vavau and then across to Fiji? And he wasn't suggesting that, because I've measured it out and there's less than a mile in it. The difference between sailing the course, going to Vavau and then carrying on to Fiji, or sailing the course and coming to Pangai and then carrying on to Fiji. They're virtually identical. There's no real distance advantage. And I think Renaud wants to come down just to have a look, see what's going on in Pangai. It's a pretty cool place as an island experience, completely different than Vavau. So it's probably worth a look. Okay, I think we're done there. I can come back and we can answer a few questions. I'll tell you about the YB. So I'll come on here. And so what happened was at about 5 o'clock, we got the message on WhatsApp, and basically the message that we get from the alert. Oh, no, it wasn't WhatsApp. It comes in on a text message to my phone, and it reads alert, button alert. So we get a button alert message from John Blankensop on the 2nd of June, 1534 UTC, and that was about 5:30 our time. We got the latitude, longitude, but we don't know much else. And then we saw that and thought, okay, we better check. We checked the tracker and so on, and the tracker is where he is. And they were planning, they sent us a message, said they were planning to move sometime today or whatever it is. And we thought, oh, maybe the move's on. And then we saw where they are, but the position is still in the anchorage, but it's only every 4 hours. And maybe they were moving and drifting, could be on the beach, whatever. We didn't know. Contacted the manager, couldn't get on to John, but then it was cancelled, they cancelled the alert. So we figured they're okay, and we sent John a WhatsApp message to say, hey, what's up? What's up on WhatsApp? Are you guys okay? But haven't heard back yet, but we're assuming everything's fine. And why does it, what's the story with this alert button on the YB3? So here's the YB3. This is the little device that sits out in the cockpit to send the update positions, and you can actually send messages on this as well. What happens here, the 3, that's the charging port under there. The 2 is the red button under a plastic cover. So you lift the cover up and you press that button and hold it down for 5 seconds, and it sends the alert. And that's not like an EPIRB. It's not an EPIRB that goes direct to the rescue coordination centres at all. It only goes to a YB monitoring system, and they will receive that. We get a copy as well, so we know what's going on, and they may follow that further, but it was cancelled within sort of 7 minutes or something. And that's as simple as that. But if he was really in distress, the first line of defence is PLBs, personal locator beacon, or EPIRB. EPIRB's first, personal locator beacon is second. And then, so, we get all that through the traditional rescue coordination centre. So what's the point of having that button? We've actually used that to good effect when in the GGR we had a sailor in distress. We had the EPIRB on. It was already transmitting. And then an hour or so later, when we knew there was a full distress and rescue going on, we got the red alert button on the YB pressed, right, which was like another message coming through that was happening. And we got the red alert button before we got any messages here, and there was a reason for that. So to send a message on the YB, you've got that keypad there. There's 4 buttons: top, bottom, left, right. And so it's not a generic keyboard or a normal keyboard where you're pressing buttons with letters, right, like on the phone. You've got to actually scroll it through. So when you hit the top button, if you want an A, you get choices and go boom, 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 and you use that. It takes a bit longer to get the messages, but it's all good. So anyway, we're not too concerned at all. For some reason, he's pressed the button. I don't know why. We'll find out later. I can't believe it went off by itself. So that's all pretty cool. And what else can I tell you? That's about it. So John, g'day, John. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that sort of stuff. We want to pick those numbers up because I know there's a lot out there. Journey a Shark, g'day. Audio and video okay, thank you. Christine, good morning from the ocean. G'day, Christine. You're having a buttercup day, huh? But anyway, Simon, g'day. Oh, quite a Benvitos competent now. I'm not sure what that one is. But hi, Simon. Govia, congratulations for everyone to stay safe and strong. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We've got 3 boats in now. Dan and Kerry. Dan will be the next one to get into Vavau. Then it'll be Kerry, and so it goes down the line. Everyone's having fun and everyone's safe, touch wood. So all is good. That's it. We're out of here, and we should see you tomorrow. What's happening to us? We're still waiting here. We spent the whole day on the computer. Good things happening, so no dramas. And Fiji, you probably saw the post there. It's a great place. We will, John, don't stress. Jane's going to put some pictures up of the boat, polished, today. So we'll see you there. Okay, press this one. We're out of here.
It's history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.